Hello and welcome to Virtual Intelligence Solutions tutorial. Today we're going to start talking about the next part in the that programming tutorial for Flutter. So today we're going to talk about decision making in Flutter in that. Yes, we're going to talk about decision making. This has to do with telling the program, the computer, what to do when a certain action happens. Like if someone inputs his username and the password is wrong, what should happen? If someone do this and this is this, what should happen? If someone do this, let that happen. If someone do that, let this happen. That's all what decision making entails. So in decision making, we have the if statement, we have the switch statement. So we will talk about the if statement first. So the if statement, before we dive into coding of the if statement, I love to explain one part of the if statement, which is the logic side. If you are not a person with background in computer science or background in computer science, or you don't actually have knowledge about digital logic, you didn't do further mathematics in secondary school and high school, so this is actually for you. But if you already know about logic, you can just skip this, or you can just skip this video to the next part. So what am I talking about? In logic, we're talking about logic. We call it digital logic. In computer science, we call it digital logic. So in digital logic, we have lot of gates. We have a lot of gates in digital logic, lot of logic gates. But actually, we're going to talk about only three of it. Like three, the ones you will use in that programming, which is the and. We're going to talk about the and gates. I'm not going to draw the gates here. We aren't going deep into drawing gates and how the gates looks like. We're just going to talk about the concept and how it relates to that programming language. We have the OR gate. We have the OR gate. We have the OR gate. And lastly, talk about is the gate. We have the NOT gate. We have the NOT gate. So I would like to show you what all these gates look like. Actually, you don't need them in this program, you just need to understand the functions. But I would like to show you from Google. You could see that we have OR gate, lot of gates. We have NOR gate, AND gate, NAND, XOR, XNOR, NOT, buffer. We have different gates, but we are going to use only these three in programming for now, and mostly you don't need others. It's only these three that you need most. Now, what is the AND gate? The AND gate, we are going to draw the truth table. How the table works: you have P, you have Q. These are two conditions. We have the reply or the answer, like the answer. Yeah, we have true, false, true, false, and we have true, true, false, false. Now, what should be here is P and Q. Um, what is the sign of this? And just leave this alone. We have, just know that this is the answer. The combination of P and Q. there's a symbol for um, there's a symbol for, yeah, it is PQ, like P and Q. This is the AND gate. We're talking about the AND. Actually, you need this in the if statement when we start talking about AND. So you need to understand how these things works so that you won't miss things when we start talking about them. So, and what AND gate does is that it multiplies the two conditions together. You see, in this logic table, true equals 1. You need to put this at the back of your mind. Like when a condition is true, let's say you are checking for a condition that if if username equals the person's username, that means it is true. That means it is 1. And false equals 0. So if you check if password equals user password, that means you are checking if it is true. That's the meaning of if that password is equals to user password, then it is true. Then the action would occur. But if it is not true, the action should not occur. So in here we can say that true, that means 1 times 1. That's the meaning of and is multiplication. 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 is true. That means the action would occur. True and false, that means 1 times 0, that's 0. That means the action will not occur because one is true and the other is false. And something about and is the two, or if it is 3, if it is 4 or 5, everything must be true before and gate fires. So false and true, that means 0 times 1, that's 0. Now this was 0 times 0, that's false and false, which give us 0. So we have a lot of different lists also. Maybe you have 3 conditions or 7 or 8. The only time AND gate is true, or when AND gate fires a condition, is when every condition is true. Don't forget, it is multiplication. It's like multiplication. AND gate is like multiplication, like 2 and 3, like 2 times 3. So that's all about AND gates. So talking about the OR gate, OR gate acts like addition. PQ, OR gate, it acts like addition. So you add P plus Q. That's the meaning of OR gate. So now we're going to write the truth table: true, false, true, false. So we're going to write the true, false, false. I know you'll be wondering, why am I writing true, false, true, false, true, false, false? There's a rule behind this logic table, but you don't need it because you don't need it in the programming. All you need to understand is when it is true for AND, it is true. When every condition is true, that's when the condition would fire. And when one condition fails, the AND gate will never fire. For example, you use the AND gate when you're talking about logging a user into the system. You know, when user inputs password and username is wrong, it should not log the user in. That's why I say true, false. Let's take this P as username and Q as password. True. When the username is correct and the password is correct, log in. True, false. When the username is correct and the password is wrong, don't log in. This 0 I'm writing here is false. Sorry, it's false that should be here, but just explaining it to you that it's false that should be here. So if the username is not correct and the password is correct, don't log in. If the username is wrong and the password is wrong, don't log in. So now, talking about the OR gate, it is plus. So 1 plus 1, you write 1. Yes, you write 1. There's a rule behind that also. Just know that 1 plus 1 in binary is 1. So true and false. True and false. That's 1 plus 0 is 1. I told you the 1 stands for true and the 0 stands for false. So what this is saying is that true, if the condition is true and the second condition is also true, that if the first condition is true and second condition is true, the action should fire, should work. If the first condition is true and the second condition is false, the action should fire. If the first condition is false and the second condition is true, the action should fire. It is 0 plus 1, so the condition will fire. Now if the first condition is not correct and the second condition is also not correct, so the action should not fire. It will be 0 plus 0. That would give us 0, which is false. Now when you are building your program and you need two conditions to actually be correct, to be true, you use the AND gate. But you need only one condition. For example, there are cases whereby you need a single condition to be true, like if user age is greater than 20 or user age is less than 30, is greater than 20 or user age is less than 30. So the condition would fire when any of the two is correct. So that's just the difference between and or. And you must be careful when using the two. Don't use and where you're supposed to use or, and don't use or when you're supposed to use and. The program would work based on what you use. So now let's talk about the NOT gate. What the NOT gate does is that it's only going to have P. So yeah, we call it P NOT. It's not P NOT that we eat. We have true, false, true, false. What NOT gate does is that it changes what is true to false and what is false to true. Like true now, it will turn it to false. False, it will turn it to true. And true, it will turn it to false. And false, it will turn it to true. So that's just how everything works in logic gates. That's the thing you need to understand in logic gates for the basic programming in that. So this is not something that people teach when they're teaching tutorial about if statement, but I just wanted to see how the action actually works behind the scene, what is actually happening behind the scene. So this is how logic gate works, and sorry about that. This is how logic gate works, and this is what you use when programming. You will understand that, you would put it in mind that this is AND gate and this is what it does, this is OR, this is what it does, and so on like that. So I'm teaching you so you know what you are coding when you are coding it, and why what you are coding is working like this. Because when you are solving bugs, you need to understand why this is working like this, so you know where exactly to face and solve the bug. So today we'll end the tutorial here, and we'll continue in the next tutorial on if statements. At that point we'll start coding if statement. With that, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, invite your friends that love to understand and code Flutter and build applications, and share on all the social media network and Flutter groups that you are. Give us like and comment if you have any problem with any of the details explained in the video. Have a lovely day. Thank you.